he flatlines in the room and they're like grabbing me and they take me out. But I was like, I'm gonna figure out what the situation is and I'm gonna figure out how to fix it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, wait, if anyone's a match, I'm a match. So now you start running that cycle through your head. You're like, this balcony looks far enough to take things.
Ashton Kutcher, Hollywood's golden boy with a killer smile and a business empire that redefined celebrity entrepreneurship. He won over millions as Kelso on That 70s Show and later made headlines investing in tech giants like Uber and Airbnb. But behind the charm and success lies a story hidden for over 2 decades, one that could change everything we thought we knew about him. Before the fame, Ashton's journey began in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where family and tough times shaped his early years. His closest bond, his twin brother, Michael. Born just 5 minutes apart, their lives took drastically different paths. Michael faced serious health challenges, including a heart condition and cerebral palsy, which affected his movement and coordination. This connection deeply influenced Ashton, but there's more to the story. Secrets that have remained in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. Because the man America fell in love with, he might not be the hero we thought he was.
I almost died at birth, almost died with a heart transplant, but I'm still here. What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Now my brother is a major celebrity. How do I utilize kind of the notoriety that I built kind of through that for the greater good and to be able to give back to people? You know, and those are some great lessons that my brother taught me.
Growing up, Ashton Kutcher faced a reality no kid should have to. He watched his twin brother Michael struggle with everyday tasks, walking, talking, even simple movements. But it wasn't just the physical challenges. Michael endured bullying and exclusion, and Ashton saw it all. As the healthy athletic twin, Ashton excelled in school and sports, but his success came with a deep sense of guilt. Why was he thriving while Michael was fighting so hard just to keep up? That guilt fueled his determination to support his brother in any way he could. The most defining moment of their childhood came when Michael needed a heart transplant at just 13. His condition was worsening and time was running out. Desperate, Ashton even considered giving up his own life to donate his heart. It was a testament to his love for Michael, but it also revealed the immense emotional burden he carried. This experience shaped Ashton's worldview, instilling a deep sense of responsibility, not just for his family, but for anyone struggling. It's likely why he's so passionate about philanthropy, especially his work against human trafficking. But no matter how much good he did, Ashton couldn't escape his own internal struggles. As he got older, guilt and ambition clashed, leading him to a reckless decision that could have ruined everything. During his senior year of high school, the pressure became overwhelming. Balancing school and personal issues, Ashton made a choice he'd regret, breaking into his high school with a friend to steal test answers. At the time, it probably felt like an easy way out, but it backfired. He got caught, arrested, and charged with third-degree burglary. The fun-loving kid suddenly had a criminal record and a tarnished reputation. This was Ashton's wake-up call. His future, once full of promise, was now uncertain. Despite the legal trouble, he graduated high school, but he had no clear direction. Then fate intervened. At 19, while hanging out at a bar in Iowa, Ashton was approached by a talent scout who encouraged him to enter a modeling competition. Hesitant but intrigued, he gave it a shot and won. That victory launched him into a world he never imagined. Soon, he was walking runways in New York and Milan, landing major ad campaigns and gaining the confidence to dream bigger. Modeling was his ticket out of Iowa, but it was just the beginning. His charm, good looks, and natural ability to connect with people caught Hollywood's attention. Before long, he was auditioning for TV roles. It's ironic. What started as a brush with the law became the unexpected spark that ignited Ashton Kutcher's rise to fame.
This festival is finally getting the recognition that it's deserved all along. Hollywood kind of gets the name of like, you know, the big studio, 40 million, 50, 60, $100 million movie. And, but really most of these independent films kind of start out of here. And it's cool that they're bringing it back here, where it comes from. I mean, and these seems like movies that are made in blood, sweat, and tears are going to get the recognition right in the house. That's awesome.
As Ashton Kutcher's fame skyrocketed, Hollywood couldn't get enough of his charm. But behind the scenes, there were shadows he couldn't shake. He became a household name in 1998 when he landed the role of Michael Kelso on That 70s Show. His goofy, lovable portrayal, fueled by natural comedic timing and effortless charisma, made him a fan favorite almost instantly. This success opened countless doors, and by the early 2000s, he was branching out from sitcoms, making a splash in romantic comedies like Dude, Where's My Car? And Just Married. But what truly cemented him as a pop culture icon was Punk'd, the hit MTV prank show he created and hosted. Pulling elaborate tricks on A-list celebrities, Ashton became Hollywood's ultimate prankster. His mix of humor and charm made him one of the industry's hottest young stars. Yet, while his career was reaching new heights, Ashton was about to face a devastating personal tragedy that would haunt him for years. In 2001, he started dating Ashley Ellerin, a 22-year-old fashion student with a bright future. On February 21st of that year, he was supposed to pick her up for a date. When she didn't answer the door, he assumed she had fallen asleep or gone out, never imagining the horror that had taken place inside. Ashley had been brutally murdered by Michael Gargiulo, a serial predator who targeted young women. This tragedy shook Ashton to his core. Nearly 2 decades later, in 2019, he testified at Gargiulo's trial, recounting that night with evident pain. He admitted to struggling with guilt, wondering if there was anything he could have done differently. Though Gargiulo was convicted, the experience left an indelible mark on Ashton, a chilling reminder that even in the glamorous world of Hollywood, darkness lurked just beneath the surface. Behind the scenes, Ashton was forging a path beyond acting, one that was just as lucrative, but far more complex. By the late 2000s, he had pivoted toward the tech world, long before it became trendy for celebrities to do so. He co-founded A-Grade Investments, a venture capital firm that backed game-changing startups like Uber, Airbnb, and Spotify. His sharp eye for innovation made him an unexpected but respected player in Silicon Valley. But Ashton wasn't just focused on wealth. In 2012, driven by a desire to make a real impact, he co-founded Thorn, Digital Defenders of Children, alongside his then-wife Demi Moore. The organization uses technology to combat online child exploitation, creating tools that help law enforcement track down and rescue victims. More than just a passion project, Thorn has played a crucial role in the fight against online child abuse, proving that Ashton is serious about using his influence for more than just business. Hollywood's golden boy had evolved into a tech mogul and activist, but his story was far from over. Beneath the success and philanthropy, there were still layers to Ashton Kutcher that the world had yet to uncover.
Obama was going into office. I made a pledge that I was going to start fighting human trafficking.
Yeah.
And I started a foundation called Thorn with my ex-wife, and we're building digital tools to fight human trafficking. So basically, like the purchase and the commerce for human trafficking is happening online, just like everything else now. And so we're building digital tools to fight back against it. And we've built a tool to help law enforcement prioritize their caseload and recover victims and find traffickers. And we've found and we've identified and recovered over 6,000 trafficking victims this year. And
your goal was 5, and you got 6.
Yeah.
Right? That's fantastic.
we found identified and recovered 2,000 traffickers. And our next battle, my next commitment, and I figure when Hillary's in office, I'm going to make a pledge that I'm going to eliminate child pornography from the internet.
Juggling his acting career and activism has been anything but easy. While Ashton Kutcher continued to appear in shows like 2.5 Men and Netflix's The Ranch, his focus often shifted to his work with Thorn and his tech investments. For him, fame wasn't the end goal. It was simply a platform to do more. But this dual life hasn't come without criticism. Some have questioned whether his philanthropy and business ventures are truly driven by passion or just a way to revamp his public image. One skeptic wrote, "Ashton seems like he wants to do good, but it's hard to trust when someone stays silent on big issues. "I really want to believe in his work, but actions speak louder than words." Another added, "He's done so much for victims, which is incredible. But defending Danny Masterson, that's a tough pill to swallow. It feels like a huge contradiction." For years, Ashton had been seen as a champion for justice, but his loyalty to an old friend would soon cast a long shadow over that reputation. In 2020, things got messy when Danny Masterson, Ashton's longtime friend and that 70s show co-star, was charged with multiple sexual assault allegations. The accusations dated back to the early 2000s, and the case only grew more complicated when victims claimed the Church of Scientology, of which Masterson was a member, tried to silence them. Ashton and Danny had always been close, both on and off screen. Their chemistry as Kelso and Hyde wasn't just acting, it was a reflection of their real-life bond. They had each other's backs in Hollywood, supporting one another through career moves and personal struggles. But when Masterson was convicted in 2023 and sentenced to 30 years in prison, Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, sparked outrage by writing character letters to the judge. In his letter, Ashton called Masterson a role model and praised his family values, appearing to dismiss the gravity of the charges. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Many called Ashton a hypocrite, pointing out the contradiction between his fight against exploitation and his defense of someone convicted of sexual assault. His credibility as an advocate for victims took a massive hit, and for some, this was an unforgivable betrayal. Ashton later issued a public apology, expressing regret for his actions and reaffirming his commitment to fighting abuse. But by then, the damage was done. The controversy not only stained his public image, but forced him to confront difficult questions about loyalty, justice, and accountability. Questions that, for many, still remain unanswered.
I think Ashton Kutcher is problematic because if you recall, he and his wife defended Danny Masterson, who is a violent serial rapist and was convicted of, I think he's away for life. They wrote letters to the judge.
That's right.
Saying they would let Danny watch their daughter alone. I mean, vile. I don't trust that guy at all. With Usher and Bieber, hypothetically, we don't know anything, but were they victimized by Diddy at young ages? I feel for them.
So, what kept Ashton Kutcher silent for so long? And why is everything surfacing now? To understand his choices, you have to look at his past. Growing up, Ashton carried a lot of guilt, first as the healthy twin watching his brother struggle, and later as the man who narrowly escaped tragedy when Ashley Ellerin was murdered. These experiences left him with a deep sense of responsibility, but they also created emotional cracks that never fully healed. Once he hit the spotlight, it seemed like his need for redemption drove much of what he did. His work with Thorn and shift toward philanthropy were genuine attempts to make a difference. But they also felt like a way to balance the guilt and trauma he carried. He wanted to be seen as a protector, a problem solver, a man who could rise above his past and use his fame for good. But life isn't that simple. His support for Danny Masterson exposed the contradictions within him. On one hand, he's the devoted brother who would do anything for family. On the other, he's a flawed friend, caught between loyalty and doing what's right. This duality has shaped his life, revealing a man who is both deeply empathetic and undeniably flawed. Now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Ashton Kutcher's journey and the recent revelations? Do you think redemption is possible in light of such a complicated past? Share your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.